Some things in this world are just not meant to be in the same sentence, like at all. A pretzel and a bra. One is a salty carb, the other is not. And yet somehow they're connected. I mean, let's look at the facts here. Is it edible? Pretzel? Yes. Bra? Please don't. Main job? Providing sustenance versus providing support. Where do you find it? A vending machine versus a dresser. They are polar opposites. But then you get down to this last row, shared origin story, and you just have to wonder, how is that even a question? Okay, you know what? When faced with a mystery this weird, you gotta pick a thread and pull. The pretzel seems like the less complicated place to begin. So let's start with a snack. All right, so the word pretzel actually traces back to this Latin word, bracchiolus, which, okay, fine. But the weird part is what it means. It means little arms. Little arms. Why would you name a snack that? Just file that away for a second. So why little arms? Well, apparently a bunch of monks back in the day wanted to make a little treat for kids, and they twisted the dough into a shape that was supposed to look like, get this, arms folded in prayer, which is just so literal. There was no metaphor meeting, they just went for it. You can almost hear them in the monastery kitchen. Hey, what does this look like to you? Kind of like little arms praying? Perfect. We're done here. And that knot you see, that's the prayer. So if you really break it down, a pretzel is a tiny, edible religious hug, which is a strange thought to have while you're dipping one in mustard at a baseball game, but you know what? Fine. That part of the story, as weird as it is, kind of tracks. So the pretzel story is surprisingly wholesome, right? Monks, prayers, snacks, got it. But that just makes the other half of this equation feel so much more impossible. How in the world do you get from that to this? All right, let's look at the other side of this. If you trace the word bras backwards, you eventually land on its ancestor in Old French, brassiere. Now here's the thing. A brassiere wasn't what it is today. It was an arm covering, like a sleeve, or maybe a piece of armor for your arm, which I think we can all agree is a major pivot from its current job description. But wait a second, hold on, just stop. On one side, we have the pretzel from a word meaning little arms. On the other, we have the bra from a word that meant arm covering. Are you feeling that? That little click? It's happening, isn't it? And there it is, right next to each other. Bracellus, little arms. Brassiere, arm covering. It's been about arms the whole time, for both of them. It's the ghost in the machine. That's because they both crawl back to the exact same root. One single Latin word that connects everything, bracchium, the OG word for arm. That's the common ancestor. That's the source. Which brings us to this absolutely inescapable and ridiculous conclusion. The snack food and the undergarment are family. They're linguistic cousins. They probably saw each other at a family reunion a few centuries ago, and it was super awkward. And this is the whole insane family tree. You start with bracchium, the arm. One branch goes off and becomes bracellus, the pretzel's little prayer arms. The other branch becomes brassiere, the arm covering that, well, it took a very different career path. So yeah, it turns out language is just this giant, weird, dysfunctional family where nobody talks about the past. And it makes you start to question everything, doesn't it? What other words out there are secretly related? Is a disaster really just about a bad star? Suddenly the entire dictionary feels like one big conspiracy. And you know what? I am here for it.